Alrighty then, Successful Indie Author 5 Minute Focus, episode 994, Writing After Significant Trauma. This is a difficult subject because everyone's trauma is different. Everyone's how brains process it, how your feelings drive you after significant trauma. One of the best things I've seen that is backed up with studies is to play Tetris as soon as possible after the trauma. Play Tetris. It helps rewire your brain to fit the pieces in order because the trauma takes you out of your groove. It pulls you apart in a way that you have a hard time putting yourself back together, whether it's loss of a pet, loss of a family member, a car accident, a crime committed against you. All different kinds of things can affect your psyche. And what do? Tetris. Rewire your brain. Now, as a writer, one other thing you can do is you create a new world. Create a new world within which you can exist, within which you can operate, within which you can look around and see all there is to see that's wondrous, what you're not seeing right now. Because if you sit in your same place, you're going to have the same feelings. So remove yourself from that place, even if you don't leave your chair. So a new world, create a new world, create the backdrop of that world. How did it become this way? How did these castles soar? What did that workforce look like? What did the overseers look like? What did the people with the vision of that castle look like? How did they encourage the folks to build this castle for them? You can make it so they weren't slaves. They did it because they wanted to. They did it because they were fanatically loyal, because the overseer, he paid them, he fed them, he treated them well, he protected them, he gave them houses that somebody else built and moved on. And so they built a castle for them. You can create anything you want in your world. How do you think superheroes came about? Because they're the downtrodden who all of a sudden now they're doing great things because they have superpowers. That's an escape. That's escapism for people. Once again, trauma, escape, get your brain back into the game and minimize what's trying to take over your whole life. And it will for a while, but you can push it back. Little Tetris, little games to rewire your brain, and then create your own world within which you can exist. Disappear into it. Write a great story and then come back out and share that story with others. Help them. So one thing you have to do is you have to give yourself grace, because this isn't going to happen overnight. It isn't like you just had trauma today. Let's play some Tetris tonight, and now I'm going to start writing a new book tomorrow. Probably not. It'll take time. Give yourself time to grieve. Give yourself time to go through the 5 stages of grief. And then before you try to get back on the horse, I'm not sure I'm going to ride a horse ever again, because I'm all jiggity and broken and I'll get bruises. But getting that back out there, getting yourself back out there, getting your head straight, that's in your control. But sometimes the horse runs free and you got to get those reins, and finally you can get it back under control. Same thing for your mind. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself grace to take the time you need, and then think about a new world. Think about a new adventure. Think about new heroines that can do what you need to do, that do what you couldn't do. Lift a car, stop it from hitting you, all kinds of things. This is what rewiring your brain looks like. And if you want to move forward, you have to do that. You can't just exist. You may learn to coexist, and that's what you have to do, because the trauma will always be there, always. But how do you deal with it? Rewire your brain so it's there, you recognize it, but it's not going to take over your life. Do not let it take over your life. Write that story, give yourself a chance to win, and then move on. Peace, fellow humans.